Alright, strap in, because this episode of TOUGEN ANKI is an emotional roller coaster. Episode 11 delivers gut punches, shocking twists, and sets the stage for even heavier drama, so let's break it all down together. If you thought this show couldn't get any darker, just wait until you hear how blood-soaked the stakes get, how tangled the friendships become, and how far our heroes and anti-heroes are from the people they started as. Let's dive into everything that just went down. We open with a vibe straight out of a fever dream, for 24 alive here, and days soaked in blood, tangled in unease. Right away, the mood screams danger and emotional turmoil. Gunfire, Devor's fairy tales. You can literally feel dreams being crushed in real time. The poetic subtitles tease that every glance and moment can be the signal for change or disaster. And it's exactly what this episode focuses on: decisions made in the heat of battle and how deeply they scar people. It's all about juggling despair and glory. You get a sense that these characters are swallowing their own ideals, sometimes even betraying what's right, just to survive and protect what little they have left. The real heart of the episode centers on two deeply conflicted men, Manaka Momobi, a passionate captain, and Tsubakiri Momomiya, a cold researcher who never wanted to be involved with Oni killing, but was drawn into this violent world by fate and by Manaka himself. The narrative takes us deep into Tsubakiri's psyche, reliving his transformation from detached scientist to tormented avenger. He didn't care about the Oni, nor did he burn with the desire for revenge after his parents were killed by Oni when he was a child. Tsubakiri's life was dull, empty, just going through the motions, until Manaka came barreling into his world. Manaka is introduced as a disruptor. He demands Tsubakiri join his squad, and although Tsubakiri resists, the higher-ups overrule him. Manaka's team is tight-knit, loyal, leaders look up to him, and oddly, Manaka is compassionate enough to actually pray for the Oni he's forced to kill. Tsubakiri's total lack of empathy and inability to connect makes Manaka's warmth both confusing and suffocating. But Manaka won't take no for an answer. He invites Tsubakiri into his family's life. The dinners, the laughter, the chaos, and for the first time, Tsubakiri starts to feel a pulse again. He tastes his food instead of just eating. It should be beautiful. But there's a sinister undertone. Manaka's belief that having something to fight for, a family, makes him stronger. But Tsubakiri quietly wonders if that's actually a fatal weakness. And that question is answered in the most tragic way possible. In a mission gone wrong, Manaka hesitates when faced with an Oni child, seeing his own daughter in the terrified kid for a split second. That mercy costs him everything. The Oni escapes, goes on a rampage, and in a sick twist of fate, Manaka's wife and daughter, just civilians out shopping, are killed right in the crossfire. Manaka finishes off the Oni, but it's too late. He couldn't save his family, and the regret hits like a truck. Tsubakiri's cold logic is brutally validated. Even children must not be spared. The things you love really do become your vulnerabilities. Broken, Manaka makes a desperate, supernatural request to Tsubakiri: "Who's my corpse?" This isn't metaphorical. The implication is that Tsubakiri literally starts controlling Manaka's body, climbing up the ranks to captain. But internally he's a shattered wreck clinging to the memory of Manaka. He vows to never lose, as long as Anai exist, Manaka, and he will keep fighting. It's a haunting version of partnership, fueled by vengeance now instead of hope. But in the end, Tsubakiri falls, dead at 31, leaving behind only the twisted legacy of what he'd become. The aftermath is messy and bittersweet. Mei's parents aren't coming back. Mudano makes a tough call. There's too much danger, and while some have been left behind in the ruined base, he prioritizes the rescue of survivors. Shiki, at the center of everything, survived a near-fatal wound by drinking his own blood. Talk about stubbornness and luck. The students retreat to the Abaraya Inn, a brief oasis run by Oni, and it's here the reality of loss settles in. No one feels victorious, not even Shiki after surviving the chaos. We also get a shift in tone from heavy drama to awkward school life comedy. The survivors are instructed to join different agency units, see battle, medical, recon, based on the traits of their blood, echoing the ongoing theme that their identities are defined by what runs in their veins. It's time for room assignments, which, predictably, devolves into absolute chaos. Nobody wants to room with the teacher, but eventually someone gets sacrificed to that fate. There's silly banter about who's going to be paired, with characters joking about feeding, dressing, or even wiping each other's butts. Yep, you heard that right. Despite the humor, there's an undercurrent of loneliness. Some have never been on a school trip. Some felt isolated their whole lives, and some are openly anxious about being paired off. Shiki, once again, stands apart. He holds the legendary Kishin power. He's the Kishin's child. But status brings just as much trouble as glory. Tension sparks between the characters, jealousy, rivalry, the raw edge of trauma. Several express a desire to challenge Shiki, hoping to boost their value by taking down the one who beat Tsubakiri. That sets up future confrontations and further complications. Nobody here is free from their past, and everyone's still searching for their place. As the episode closes, poetic lyrics echo the theme of justice and regret. What is justice? I don't know. The path ahead is a tangled maze, and the pain is palpable. Mei is resolved. She'll live in the moment to fight for her own future. And this sparks hope in others to do the same. Rival agencies move out to hunt Shiki, knowing that if they bring results and perhaps his head, nobody in power will care about the rules. So, in summary, TOUGEN ANKI Episode 11 explores the suffocating cycle of violence and compassion, and how the things that make us human are both our greatest strengths and deepest weaknesses. Through flashbacks and current carnage, we see how grief molds heroes and monsters alike. The resolve to keep living and fighting, despite unbearable loss, is shadowed by the knowledge that justice and righteousness are never black and white. Relationships twist fates, and, in the end, everyone is changed, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. That's all for this recap. Let me know which part hit you the hardest. or if you spotted a detail I missed. Don't forget to comment your thoughts below, like the video if you enjoyed, and hit that subscribe button for more episode breakdowns and wild theories. Share this with your fellow fans and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, catch you on the flip side.